Okay, well, let's start the first open mic reader, and our first reader for tonight is Roxanne Bodsworth. Hi, Roxanne. Lovely to see you. Roxanne.
Hi. Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Hi, Rose.
Yeah, great to see you. Roxanne lives on Bangarang country in northeastern Victoria. She has 2 verse novels with poetry appearing in several journals, and we're also very proud to have her in the long list of the Liquid Amber Prize to be published in our anthology coming up. So thank you, Roxanne.
Thanks, Rose. Great to be here, and yeah, coming to you from the Bangarang country. It's a great privilege to be here. So the poem I'm going to read out tonight is one of those that was longlisted for the competition. I was very pleased about that. And it's called The Annunciation. It was not like Baal coming to a nut, that the virgin goddess might bear a bull calf. Gabriel was nothing more than a messenger, a herald of miracles to come. It was not rapturous. God had not yet become flesh. That would require the alchemy of my womb. Gabriel had a body. Gabriel burned. I could feel the heat of him, off him. It raised a sweat on my own flesh. I did not see the face of God, only the face of his messenger. A brightening face, emergent as the dawn. I would have done anything for that angel. I would bear a heifer, a bull calf, a Messiah, or the child of an archangel, whatever he asked of me. He asked that I do anything for another, an unknown, unknowable, Yahweh. A name spoken in temple, at Sabbaths, at festivals, a name invoked for every desire, in thanksgiving for each boon. Gabriel spoke in tones that thundered through my body, only the messenger. How much more powerful could be his God? There was light, there was warmth, there was sensation, a breeze, moisture like rain softening the dry earth, radiance like the moon incarnate in my womb. And I became more than I had ever been, the Virgin Mother to be acclaimed once the shame was forgotten. Gabriel never returned. I always remember the brightness of his face, the radiant warmth of his immense presence. I would still do anything he asked of me.
Thank you, Roxanne. Fantastic. That's a whole new take on the Annunciation, I think. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Okay, our next poet is Jennifer Compton.
Hello, Rose.
Actually, no, I'm going to just
pop here. Am I coming in loud and clear?
Yes, I'm just going to spotlight you there, Jen. Let me just quickly introduce you. My friend and colleague Jennifer Compton lives in Carrum in Melbourne, out on the Frankston line, she tells us. Recently, she's been part of the Grand Slam program, which doesn't exactly get her out of the house because it's on Zoom, but she thinks Slam might have quite a bright future and she wants in on it. Her most recent book, I should say, on a more serious note, is The Taken, recent work 2021. Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, Rose. I'm up in Ballarat at the moment, and to my shame, I don't know what country I'm on. And I just wanted to send my warmest congratulations to Anne Elvey on yet another beautiful book coming out of her Seaford office. Let me find my poem. Right. This poem is set in Sydney. under the flight path. I raised my glass of wine to the silence of the midnight curfew. I'm minding house in the inner west for my son and his girlfriend as they jet off to Helsinki. I've been driven out of the house into the rakish back garden because I smoke. It's not the worst thing that anyone has ever done, but it is bad enough. I'm sitting on a cane chair under the struggling tree. I don't know its variety, but it is not a robust example. Here and there around the patch of yard, it has heaved up random bricks. In the morning, I sit and I smoke and I drink my tea. I watch the horizontal progression of planes on the skyline coming into land. One after another, one after another, one after one after one after another. I try to hold them safe in my mind. A single moment of inattention, and what a terrible thing I would see. I usually sight the morning ibis just after 8, steadily beating their way straight overhead. They seem to glance down. I never sight the evening ibis. I don't know why. In the afternoon, I sit and I drink my coffee and I smoke. The flight path has changed. Now the planes are diving in with a roar and a stink, and at a steep angle across the very top of me. I can almost reach up and stroke the bellies of the planes. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people are flying into the city every day. Soon, 2 of the people will be my son and his girlfriend. I will look up and keep them safe. Around about midnight, I take a bottle of wine out into the garden. I wait for the last plane. Slowly, 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 I become aware that the last plane was the last plane. The night stretches out around this dwelling and all that it contains. The tree shrugs and lifts and starts to quiver. The headlights of the cars, turning behind the slatted fence, catch hold of each, toss and tremble, and project a moving panorama across the laundry wall. It sweeps from side to side. It vaunts up over the roof. It returns into a vivid pattern of stillness. It begins again to transmute into another way of being. I watch the show. I raise my glass of wine.
Thank you, Jen. Absolutely wonderful. Really, really enjoyed that. Also, just to remind people that Jen Compton was our Liquid Amber poet in the spotlight. So most recently, we're going to have a series of poets in spotlights. We've had Rose Van Son on the website, and now we've also got Jennifer Compton. So check it out. It's really great to hear a little bit more from poets and hear them reading as well. So a great way to do it. All right, let's move on to our next reader, who is Glenn Hunting. Hi, Glenn. As we know, Glenn is from Central Australia, but currently in Perth. On Arrernte Country, he normally lives in Central Australia. His writings have appeared in Portside Review, Recoil 12, Burrow, Creatrix, and elsewhere. And great to have you with us tonight, Glenn. Over to you.
Thanks, Rose, and it's lovely to be here to help welcome Anne's new collection into the world. Just a couple of things with this poem. I'll apologise in advance to the international audience members who might not quite get some of the references. I'll apologise to anybody who was at Perth Poetry Club last weekend and has already heard me do this. And this poem isn't, it certainly wasn't meant to be triggering, but I probably need to issue a trigger warning because this does deal with a very specific instance of domestic violence. So, wish fulfillment to the memory of Hannah Clark. If it were possible, if it only held meaning for you and I, our gazes would swim inside each other's, but we wouldn't dissolve with the memory. You wouldn't need to defend yourself anymore or harden to survive. My hands would clasp your shoulders and your skin and hair would not come away in my fingers. Your children would be as they started that final school run, healthy, vibrant, and the one who tormented the 4 of you would recede like a terrible dream, never to return. Our foreheads would nod together as dread gave way to a flood of relief. And all the care that might rebuild your strength and right all similar wrongs would grow between us there and thence beyond. But if it were possible, these wishes would not have awoken in me. I wouldn't have known how your life was dragged over broken glass to a yawning drain, or how you fought for your own deliverance, or how the system couldn't rewrite your story. And my futile, needy projections would still believe they were kinder and more sincere than communal grief. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn, and thanks for giving us the heads up on that. That's powerful stuff. So really appreciate that. Now we did have Simone King coming in next. Simone, are you with us? Simone has maybe a 4-week-old baby, so I'm imagining that perhaps life got on top of her, which happens. So if she comes in later, we'll find a spot for her. But let's move on to the next open mic on our list, which is Julian Matthews. I think we have you there. So I'll hand over to Julian next. Julian is a former journalist. He's based in Malaysia, and he says he stumbled onto poetry by accident 5 years ago, a happy accident that has turned into a rabid compulsion. He's still extricating himself from that crash. Welcome to his recovery. Pretty intriguing, Julian. Over to you.
Hi. This is called Vesper Flights, after Helen MacDonald. I read about how some migratory birds crossing vast oceans non-stop can catch sleep in mid-flight. Just snatches here and there, and only at night. Sometimes with one eye open to prevent collisions. Isn't that how many of us lead our lives, under pressure, trusting the wind to carry us, letting the air catch our breaths? Maybe we just need to land and rest a bit. I left the sky because your blue was overwhelming. Yet I still hear your cawing in the distance, this constant pecking for mealworms under bark, this incessant annoying tweets on my shoulder, this furious fluttering poking at my eyes, sucking my tears up like nectar. I am my own prey now. I tuck my head under my own broken wings and let these talons dig deep into this unworthy flesh. I am evolving, flightless. I'm more earthed now, a groundling. I'd rather crawl into my own skin than feather emptiness. Yet you say it was always about me. I say, maybe. Happiness is a selfish thing with strings attached. You give in order to receive. They take and take and take until we both break. Some gifts are better left unwrapped. There are flying lessons in paper planes. We rise and fall, crash and burn. We fight the floor, then eventually learn to let go. Truth, like currents, can part in separate directions. Acts of faith can't be taught. They come late in flight. Being selfless doesn't come naturally to me. I need to find solace in other lost souls first. Only those who seek will be found, they say. But even amateurs can be profound. It may be a while before I can rise above it all, go high, crest the night sky, shut both eyes and trust the wind again. Perhaps I'll meet you there, on mended wings, and a final whispered prayer. Thank you.
Thank you, Julian. Absolutely wonderful. Really, really pleased to hear that. Thank you for sharing.